All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. You spin up a new React project with Vite, and boom, you're staring at this giant list of files and folders. What does it all mean? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. We're going to demystify this whole structure and give you a super clear map of how everything fits together.
Yeah, I bet this looks pretty familiar, right? That first moment you open a new project and you're just lost. It's totally overwhelming. But stick with me, because I promise, by the end of this, it's all going to click. We're going to turn that "what am I looking at" feeling into pure confidence.
So where do we start our tour? We're going to begin right at the root of the project with the files that are basically the recipe and the rulebook. These are the configuration files, and they tell our project what ingredients it needs and how to behave. And we're kicking things off with the big one.
Okay, first up, package.json. You can think of this file as your project's official ID card or its manifest. It's a list of every single tool and library your application needs to work. We're talking everything from React itself all the way down to the little tools that check your code for typos. It's the absolute source of truth for your entire setup.
Now, inside package.json, those ingredients are split into two main groups. First, you've got your dependencies. These are the ingredients that actually go into the final dish, the things your app needs to run in a user's browser, like React and React DOM. Then you have dev dependencies. Think of these as your kitchen tools, your knives, your mixers, your oven. They are for you, the developer, to use while you're cooking up the app, stuff like Vite and ESLint. They don't get served to the customer, but you can't build without them.
And that's not all. The package.json file also gives us these awesome little shortcuts called scripts. They're like speed dial for your most common tasks. You want to start your live server? Just type npm run dev. Ready to package up your app for the whole world to see? That's npm run build. Need to check your code for mistakes? npm run lint. They are absolute lifesavers and make everything so much faster.
Okay, we've seen the recipe book. Now let's head out to the front of the house, to the public-facing stage. This is the part of your project that the user's browser actually sees and interacts with. And believe it or not, it all comes down to one single, super important HTML file.
And this is a really important concept to grasp. This is the only HTML file in your entire React application. For real. This is why we call them single-page apps. No matter what you click or where you navigate, the browser never actually loads a new page. Instead, React is like this master puppeteer, just swapping out the content inside this one single file. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
So, if React is the puppeteer, where does it attach its strings? Well, it's this one single line of code right here, this simple little div with an ID of root. That's it. This is the magic anchor point. It's basically an empty box that says, hey React, this spot is all yours. Do your thing. Seriously, burn this line into your memory, because we're going to see how it connects in just a minute.
All right, now for the main event. Let's talk about the SRC folder. You can forget everything else for a second, because this is the heart and soul of your application. This is your home base. It's where you are going to spend pretty much all of your time, writing the code that actually makes your app, well, an app.
But wait, before we jump into source SRC, we have to talk about that other giant folder you see, Node Modules. What is that thing? Well, remember all those dependencies from package.json? When you run npm install, this is where all the actual code for them gets downloaded. It's like a massive pre-stock toolbox for your project. The golden rule here is, you look, but you don't touch. Never edit anything in here directly. In fact, it's so huge that we always tell Git to just ignore it completely.
Okay, so now we're really inside the SRC folder. Let's meet the key players. You've got main.jsx. Think of this as the ignition key. It's the file that starts the whole engine. Its one job is to get app.jsx up and running. And app.jsx, that's your main component, the big boss, the top of the food chain. You'll also see your CSS files for making things look good and an assets folder for stuff like images. This right here is mission control.
So, we've seen the recipe and package.json, we've seen the stage and index.html, and we've met the main actors in the SRC folder. Now for the best part. Let's connect all the dots. This is that aha moment where we see how it all comes together to bring your app to life.
Here's the chain of events. It's actually pretty simple. 1. The browser opens your index.html file. 2. That HTML file has a script tag that says, hey, run main.jsx. 3. Main.jsx springs into action, finds that div ID root, remember that? And tells React, okay, inject the entire app component right here. And boom, your app appears on the screen. From that point on, React is running the show, and Vite is in the background, watching your every move, instantly updating the browser every time you hit save.
And that's it. See? Not so scary after all, right? The whole Vite React structure is actually this really smart, well-organized system that's just designed to get out of your way so you can start building cool stuff. You've officially got the map. You know where everything is and what it does. So the only question I have for you is, what are you going to build first?